Hey, it's Jefferson Davis. I am sorry for the audio if it is not good. So, today I wanted to let you guys know this is, by the way, Jefferson Davis, blindphotography.us. What the goals are for the future and what's happening to the website. So, if you go to blindphotography.us, you'll be greeted with this join our mailing list. I'm gonna be the short of the long here is that I will be closing down this particular server, but I'll try to move the name over or at least redirect it to my other website, jeffersondavis.us, until I can get it rebuilt and get everything back uploaded. So I got to be in the process the next day or so of getting everything backed up. But anyway, I have all the text backed up, but I don't have all the stuff backed up. This website, so we're going to close this. If you join the mailing list, I will just take that mailing list or your email database from everyone that subscribes and put it over on the other website. So just to let you know, um, if you go to store up here, I believe that's store. By the way, I am legally blind, so if I click on the wrong thing, sorry, we'll figure it out. But join the mailing list again. That'll be done with soon. But so I have all these images on here, and um, I never got them properly categorized the way I would like them, but they are in some sort of order. Um, so if you click on one, let's say this one right here, which is one of my favorite photos. This particular photo um, I took with a Spotmatic F when my vision was still good and I could focus really well. But I have 5 degrees of vision left, and what little I have is fuzzy, blurry. I tell everyone, everyone's a blob. And that was shot, I believe that says Kent Mirror 100. But anyway, you can go in here and you can order like if you want just a plain print, fine art prints. Okay, so we click on that and you click on, well, there's only one size there. That's weird. That's another thing I'll have to fix. I think it's the dimensions of it, I believe, is the problem. Let's say I want a 20 by 30 of that. Okay, so it gives you the price. Woof, 104.95, and you hit add to cart, and that's all there is to it. But you can do that's expensive. I get it. Let's say you wanted a metal print of this. So we go in here, 16 by 24, still $299. All right, give me a second here. I'm working on it. You want an 8 by 10, that's $87. And you go down here to acrylic. Ooh, almost $329. But that's 104 for a standout print or frame print. Ouch, $488. So some of these are sizably expensive, but I've tried to make them. Let me find another one for example here. That was a bad example apparently. Let me find a really good print here, like this one here. I love this. My wife Dina took this, I believe. Yes, she did. And we're going to go to prints. 12 by 18, which is my favorite size. So that's only 25 bucks for the print. And then you can have it, you can go buy a frame and frame it yourself. 25 bucks. I think that's very fair for the print. Taken in Enniskerry, County Wicklow, Ireland. Um, But anyway, I'm not here to sell you necessarily anything today. I don't know if anybody's watching this, but you can also go in here and go to about. Um, that's me and my wife. Not the best picture, but this is stuff about us that my wife wrote. I didn't write any of this. Um, you can go to support us, of course. And this is only good for another couple weeks, and make a donation to support our film and our project of continuing to um, take photographs, even being blind. Buy us a roll of film or a coffee, I believe it says. So you can go to blog here, and this tells you all the stuff that there's stuff about being blind in here, of course, and then there's other stuff. Embracing the blur. This is about me going blind and loving cameras and why I kind of went away from SLRs. I still have two, but I don't really try to do any close focusing or anything, or f1.4, because I can't. My vision's not clear as it is. So, and this is funny. Grok thinks that I am Ansel Adams. It gave this diatribe. And then I talk about other stuff about being blind. This is a one cord device for baseball. Great Diamondbacks game there. And all this will also be on my other website as well. I'm trying to copy to both just in case. And this is, blind advocacy. And this is a thing. Everyone is a blob. Then here's the good stuff. Okay, this is what I should be charging you for. But this is about cameras and different cameras. This is about the 3C and what I love about it, what I don't like about the Retina series, the 2s and the 3s, the cocking rack to be precise, and all the issues I had. I had to buy 2 of the 3Cs in order to get one that worked. And the issues, and here is a picture, I believe, of the cocking rack, and you can kind of see right in here how messed up it is. But I go into all sorts of detail, and then there's stuff like this, understanding aperture in photography, that's completely free, that I'm explaining the different aperture and what they mean, because somebody say, woo, the lower the number, the wider the aperture, but they don't explain it, right? And that's what I've done, and that goes into a lot of detail. And this is about the Kodak Retina 2C, I believe. This was fascinating. Reardon Castle or Reardon Mansion up in Flagstaff, Arizona. It's an Irish family that moved to the States and made it big, but they came out west and did even better. And here I'm talking about different cameras, different pictures and what they mean to me. And like I wrote about this picture and how you can buy this beautiful image and this amazing photograph. There's a lot going on in it, but it's a cool photograph. So there's a lot here, and I've provided a lot. And this one, my goodness gracious, if I could have like a wall wide photograph of this, it would just be the best thing ever, because I love this image. Originally, it's taller than this. Just an amazing image by an amazing medium format camera, which the Proudchrome 6. This is the original image that I cropped down, so you see all the detail. It's a 6 by 4.5, so 6 centimeters, 60 millimeters by 45 millimeters. That's a lot of film. Not as much as a 6 by 6, but still, it just works. It's a beautiful image. I love it. Stuff like this. I've written so much about Arizona and all the different stories and stuff about Native Americans and my family. Just all sorts of amazing stuff in here. And podcast that I started that I'll get back to. But there's a ton of stuff in here, and it's all going away on the 17th. Well, my payment's on the 17th, so they'll probably keep it on for another few days, but let's say the 17th of December. And I knew the 1 year anniversary was coming up, but I thought it was in January for some reason, but it wasn't. Um, and even though I'm blind, Squarespace doesn't care about that, of course. And I can't pay these people $276. So to host a website that's not made me a dime, so it's got to go. It's too much money. Who can pay that? Not me. If it made some money, and I've really pushed this website, I have tried so hard to push this website and to get people to buy prints. And if they don't like the prints or if they don't like the options, to let me know and I'll change it and fix it and do whatever I got to do. But it's just getting anyone, unless you're famous, to buy a print is really, really hard. Now, if you're at a um, Saturday market or something, or an art fair, maybe you get somebody interested in something. But I don't have the money to print 100 prints and hope somebody buys them. I really don't. So I'm blind. I only work a few days a week. Me and my wife are, we struggle as it is. So I don't have the money to do all that and then hope. I mean, that's what you need to do, but I don't have the money for that, and I'm not going to go into debt and then end up losing all that money. So for now, it's just going to be put on hold. So Squarespace offers a good product. However, it has some issues after a year. They stuff that's free on WordPress, like having subscribers and sending out an email when I post a new blog post or put up a new content. On WordPress, that's free and it's automated. On here, they want you to pay an additional $10 a month, so $120 a year for that service. And they give it to you free for like 7 days, and you think, oh, this is free. No, it's not. And anything extra that you want to add on, you have to pay for. And plus, they're getting us $276 a year. It wasn't that originally. I think it was like $189 for the year. But I, honest to God, thought I could sell enough to at least pay that. And this is very unfortunate that I have to, lose it. But it is what it is. I'm not complaining. It's just it's a fact of life. This sounds like a complaint, but I'm going to say something here. There's a lot of famous people who were rich long after they became rich, long after they were dead, and that pretty much goes. That's just the way it is. There are financially successful photographers that aren't good photographers, but they're good communicators. Really, really good photographers. I'm talking really, really good. And I'm referring to like landscape, nature, the stuff I do. I'm not talking about sports. That's clicking a shutter and trying to get something. That's a different, there's an art in that, you could say. But I'm talking about landscape photographers, nature photographers, cityscapes, street shooters, people who are trying to capture something that means something or freeze something in time that would hopefully evoke an emotion with you, right? So it sort of is an art form, right? If they're really good at their art, odds are they're not really good communicators, so they're going to be poor or mediocre their entire lives and die in that way. It's just the unfortunate reality. Even with all this technology, if you're not a good communicator, then you're not going to get anywhere. Now, you can be a wedding photographer, for example, and be incredibly successful and make, six figures a year, $500,000 a year, depending on where you are. Northeast, Florida, California, Colorado, places like that where people have a lot of money. Um, but if you're not, and be an okay, mediocre wedding photographer, it's all about that communication and that, the little bit of BS that goes into business, right? You spend 90% of your time talking about doing the work, and they only spend 10% of their time actually doing the work. Those are the people that are successful in the business, and I've learned this over 40 years. It's not us that are really good photographers, excellent, superb photographers, that are the ones making the money. It's the ones that are mediocre, but they're really good at communicating and getting you to buy something. Maybe they have an addictive personality, which lends them into other things that cost them money, but they're making good money. So it's life is complicated. We just have to do the best we can. I'm blind, so I have 5 degrees of peripheral vision, and it's progressive, so it's only going to get worse. So if you bought a print today, in 5 or 10 years, when I'm completely blind or dead, hopefully that's many decades down the road, but that print will be worth some money. Eventually, somebody somewhere will say, "Yeah, that guy was great. I'll give you, 50 grand for that photograph that you have that he sold you for $20." And it'll be worth that, right? But until that person, somebody somewhere down the road decides that my work is amazing and they're really good at communicating and getting people to buy stuff, they're really good at selling, then it just doesn't happen. And Van Gogh was a good example. He was a complete nut job, but he was also a genius and great at communicating through art, because he couldn't communicate verbally or had a lot of difficulty communicating you know in a normal way. And that goes the same for painters and photographers and people, anyone in the art world. Some of the greatest people to have ever been on this earth and to have created amazing works of art were not recognized until they were long dead, and that's just the way it is. Um, but this is not a this is just a different chapter. I'm not giving up. That's not what I do. I will migrate the website over to my other one temporarily until we get finished with our move, and I can go in and do some server stuff and on my other website and move it over there, the whole thing. So, but I hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas. If I don't talk to you before then, I probably will not, at least in this form. And I will see you on the next one. It's Jefferson Davis at jeffersondavis.us and blindphotography.us currently. Sign